Good morning everyone, it's Saturday, which means it's time for Manila Bay Rehabilitation. Although there's a lot of people here at the moment, I don't think many of these are volunteers. I think it's still a bit early, it's around 5:30 a.m. A lot of these people just live in the area and want to enjoy the Manila Bay. Over here you'll see a recyclable bin, so anyone with their plastic bottles can throw it in there and it'll be easy to recycle them. And what you'll notice since my last video is that Manila City have installed signs advising people they're not allowed to swim in the bay. Of course they're worried about people getting sick, because while there have been big improvements thanks to volunteers and the various government agencies, it's still not perfect. It's probably not safe to swim in, to be honest, not yet. In the future it will be, and this will really be a huge tourist attraction. And although they call this Manila Bay Rehabilitation, honestly it's more like Manila City Rehabilitation, because there are so many things associated with this. For example, cleaning up all the trash from the streets that's normally left there and ends up in the sewers or ends up going straight into the esteros. Things like relocating squatters, because of course they're a big source of trash also. Most of the time their plumbing goes straight into the water, also straight into the esteros. Things like closing down the businesses that have been able to pollute the waterways for so long. So there's really so much more to this. I don't know if I'd be able to cover everything, but it's really a lot more than just picking up trash along the bay. And now that the sun is starting to come up, you can actually see the bay again. You can see the boats that are docked. There's no one on the bay right now. I think it's prohibited. You may have seen recently about how Manila City Hall were suggesting that volunteers get permits before they go here. A lot of people have been asking about that. You can go here any Saturday morning and register with the MMDA upon arrival, so no worries there. And what I've noticed this morning is so many families taking pictures of themselves on the bay, and that's a huge reward for everyone who's been working to clean up Manila Bay, that people actually go here just to get a nice picture, just to spend time with their families. Over here you'll see some rider groups and angkas. They're always active with these kind of volunteer activities, and hopefully angkas will be fully legalized soon. I think they had 5 different drafts of legislation related to angkas, so it's only a matter of time, I think, before they do become fully legalized and regulated, which is good for commuters. At the top of the footbridge you'll see there's a police officer with a megaphone. He's been giving orders to those below.
Sir, magandang umaga po. Bawal po tayo sa baba. Salamat po sa pangunawa.
Ooh! There's a crash down here between a motorcycle and a bicycle. A car did a heavy braking. They had to do an emergency stop and they just fell down. Yikes. It looks like no one's injured. Luckily for them, it happened in front of this event, because the MMDA have medics on standby here just in case anyone gets hurt during the Manila Bay Rehabilitation, so they'll be able to send someone out and help him out. And the police officer just asked now for people to dismantle their tents and move on. Of course they want this to be clear so that those that are volunteering have enough space to work. You'll see over here the MMDA have their dive equipment, because they are also doing underwater inspections. They've got their boats there also. So like I keep saying, it really is a lot more than picking up trash. There's a lot of different elements to this. And over here you'll see the MMDA truck that carries all the tools, the rakes, the sweeps and things like that. So I think you just have to leave an ID and then you can borrow equipment. So you can see the sun is fully up now and there's a lot of people collecting trash already. What I'll try and do also is visit the nearby Estero so we can see what's been going on there. I think these over here are police. They don't have any markings just on their caps. Is it PSG? Digging into the ground, because a lot of the trash is actually in the sand. It's amazing how this looks now. If you'd have looked at this maybe 6 months ago or a year ago, it's completely different. And this is new. You'll see there are people from local barangays here in Manila City. Looks like they brought their own rakes, or maybe they borrowed them from the MMDA, I'm not sure. But you can see as they dig down, the trash starts to appear and then they can collect it up. And over here you'll see 2 boats from the P&P Maritime Group. I'm not sure if they're here primarily for security or if they're also doing other things. You'll see some of the anchors guys are very brave. They've already gone into the water to collect more trash. There are some signs warning people to generally stay away from the water, because it's not yet considered that safe for humans. But everyone's working hard and there's a lot more people arriving. Very good. Over here another group just arrived. They look like criminology students. You can see in the background there's a rowboat going on also. Another riders group over here that are cleaning up trash. It's great to see how many people come out. It looks like they brought a shovel with them also. That will make it easier to dig things out. You can see here there's like cloth or netting or something like that. If you look behind where all these volunteers are, you'll see some metal fencing here. It looks like they're building something, because I can see the foundation over there. I wonder what it is that they're planning to put here. And here's the registration area for anyone that's curious. It's always next to the footbridge, so once you come here you can register as a volunteer. It's now around 7:30 and there's still volunteers arriving. You can see they've got little rakes and they've got tongs. I think they borrowed those from the MMDA. So here's a sample of the tongs that they borrowed from the MMDA. These are very useful for going between the rocks and getting the trash out. And this is pretty cool. These kids have really come prepared. They've attached the shroud of a fan to a stick and they're using it like a net to get trash out of the ocean or the bay. Very cool. I'm guessing this guy brought those tongs himself. It looks like what you'd use in the kitchen, but it gets the job done. Over here you'll see more people in the water collecting the trash. Very brave. Oh, this lady's got boots on. That's a very smart idea. And I just came to the front side to move to another part of the bay and I can see people also collecting up trash here. That's a very good idea. It doesn't just have to be the bay, it can be the surrounding areas. Over here another couple of rowboats. It looks like an all-female crew on the front side and a mixed crew on the back. Over here you'll see some MMDA taking things out of the water. It looks like shirts or something like that. And a guy over here. The MMDA have assigned a lot of HP Sepo here and street sweepers to clean up the bay, and they've also been sending enforcement teams here to ticket litterers. The penalty is 500 peso or community service if you're unable to pay that. Oh look, there's another rowboat out there. Not sure how well you'll see on the camera. A lot of rowing. Over here you'll see some of the stuff that they've already collected out. There's a lot of wood and plastic bottles and various different pieces of plastic. I showed recently one barangay in Cavite are actually offering 1 kilogram of rice for every 1 kilogram of plastic that you turn into them. The idea is that you can collect it from the streets, you can collect it from your home, turn it in and then convert it into something useful like rice, and then what they're going to do is recycle that plastic into eco bricks. You may have also seen the eco chairs that people have been making from recycled plastic. This still makes me sad though. 4 people on that motorcycle, 2 adults, 2 young children, no helmets. I know they're only going along the bay, although the police said you're not actually allowed to drive there. If they fall off, it could be tragic. But this is about the cleanup and let's focus on the positive. Over here more volunteers. You can see they are wearing gloves. Although you can borrow equipment like rakes and things like that, you still have to bring your own gloves for your own protection. Of course it's not just big groups, it's also individuals that go here and pick up trash, which is good to see. You see people over here playing badminton, enjoying the clean area. Over here you'll see a bus from the municipality of Santa Maria, Bulacan, home of Main Mendoza of course. So I guess they must have sent some volunteers here from the city. And it looks like there's a formation over here for the police. It doesn't look like they're going to be doing cleanup. They're probably here just to keep public order and to keep everyone safe. That's good because there's really, you know, thousands of people here. I just made a trip to Estero De Magdalena and I'm so happy. There are people here clearing it. I did not expect to see anyone here, but there are people here. Even the residents themselves have come out to clean it up. That is great. Of course, the unfortunate truth about having informal settlers or squatters along the waterway is the trash goes straight into the water. The pee and the poop go straight into the water. But I'm so glad to see people here tidying this up. So further down here, I bumped into the barangay chairman, Abigail Ibay. What can you tell us about what's going on today?
Cleanup drive.
Cleanup drive.
For the cause of Baywalk.
When did you start this?
Matagal na.
It's been going for a while.
Yes.
Okay. And the heavy equipment, that's from the barangay? Or
No, from MMDA.
MMDA.
Yes.
Okay. So who do you have here? You have your exos, you have your...
My barangay Tanod, Kagawad, and Exo.
Okay. How many people do you have?
Almost 20.
20. Okay. And how about the trash? Where will it be taken?
From MMDA.
MMDA also. Okay, that's good. It's good. I'm really happy to see everyone here. And what you might notice is different from last time is the water is flowing. I guess because they've been digging a trench and making a way. Before this was all stagnant, nothing but trash, and the water was still. Now it's flowing. I think that must be a good sign, right? And every time I go here there are less and less houses because they are being relocated and then the houses demolished because of course as much as possible they want to keep this open as an estero. They don't want people living here. It's a gradual process because they have to find cities that are willing to take these people in to give them homes and things like that, but it is happening, it is being done, and It will help a lot in the long run, and what you'll notice here is they have the same thing as the kids earlier, either a piece of wood or bamboo and then the shroud of a fan, and it helps them to scoop things out of the water. It's a simple device, but it works. I just stopped by another part of Estero De Magdalena to see how it looks. This is just on Alvarado Street, and you can see there's quite a lot of trash that's bunched up around here. Oh, also underneath I can see a lot. So this is another area that some people could focus on. It doesn't help that the barangay are storing all their garbage here, and I'm sure some of it accidentally overflows into the water. So perhaps that's something that the barangay also need to rethink. But it's not awful, but there is work to be done here. And right now my plan is to try and get to Estero De Magdalena. That means taking Juan Luna, because I want to get to the bridge where the water flows underneath. There's often a lot of trash there. I want to see how it's looking, if anyone's cleaning it up. The problem is it's Juan Luna, which means lots of vendors. It means traffic can't flow. So now I'm wondering if I can even make it down there, to be honest. It could take an hour just to get through. You might remember long ago that the MMDA actually cleared all these stores on the bridge. Unfortunately, it wasn't maintained by the barangay or by the city. Anyway, there's a lot of fruit vendors here, and what normally happens is when they finish with their boxes and the polystyrene and stuff like that, they throw it into the river below. So let's see how this looks. I think this is part of Estero De Magdalena. So yeah, obviously there's still a lot to do here. I can see they've installed some kind of maybe a garbage trap or something like that over there, so we can go and take a look. So actually I can't get a good look at that one because there's private establishments on both sides. But if you look here, it looks like there's another garbage trap. They've installed bamboo. The idea is that all the garbage piles up in one place, and then it's much easier to collect, although I'm not sure how often anyone is actually collecting it. But this is another potential area, Bernardo, Estero De Magdalena, just off of Juan Luna, where they can collect some trash. And you'll see over here there's a lot more trash also. A lot of this does come from the vendors. Unfortunately, it's a side effect of having the vendors there, apart from all the traffic and other issues caused. If someone's living there, well, most likely their pee and poop is also going straight into the water. That is something that they're working on also, but you know, it all takes time. Over here is the Bernardo pumping station operated by the MMDA. This helps with flood control and things like that. I can see there is a little bit of trash here. I've seen them collecting trash here before, so this is another potential site that could be improved on, because of course if trash gets into the pump, you're going to have problems. So I know they have filtration systems and things like that, but another potential area that people could collect trash from. You'd have to be careful because, you know, it's quite deep down, so you couldn't go in the water. You'd need like a pole with a net on the end or something like that. But basically you might think, why are you going around to all of these places? Well, I'm just trying to find other locations that volunteers could potentially help with, because there's so many people on Manila Bay. I think they could spread out and cover other areas, to be honest. Now another option you have with your trash is, instead of throwing it away, you can give it to people like this. They'll collect the cardboard, they'll collect the plastic bottles, and then what they do is they put them together and turn them in for recycling money. So next time you see these guys in your area, you can ask them, where do you normally hang out, where do you normally collect from, and then you can give it to them directly. So not only are you helping them, but you're also helping the environment, because they're going to recycle it instead of throwing this into the dump site. How much per kilo of plastic? Magkano? Well, how about cardboard? Cardboard. Opo. 4 pesos. So 12 pesos per kilo plastic, 4 per cardboard. Okay, maraming salamat po. Over here they're shooting some kind of educational video. They're going through the trash one by one, explaining exactly what it is, like single-use plastics and things like that. They've got more camera crew over there. I'm trying to make not too much noise in case they plan to use the audio. It's around 10 AM and most of the large volunteer groups have left already because they were here so early. But you can see the individuals are still here using the MMDA rakes and stuff like that. Actually, it's very good that they're able to give these tools to people, because it does make the job easier, especially when they're digging through the sand and things like that. But if you have your own tools, you might want to bring them, because there's not an unlimited supply. And bad timing for me, because the MMDA just sent 2 boats out. You have MMDA plus DNR, and they're taking water samples. I don't know all the exact details. That's pretty cool. I just saw a bird fly down. I think he might have got a fish. There are jumping fish around here. You can see so many of them. The people have left and the birds have come.